Listen, we live for a minute on tonight, and I'm gonna try to get my camera so I can get it in my face. And we're thankful for what God is doing to us and for us, and because of His blessings and what God has spoken into my life, I'm willing to share into your life so that it would be beneficial to you. And truly, I really don't know who gonna be on tonight because I didn't inform anybody anymore. I'm just going on live and sharing some thoughts, and those that can catch me where I am, they can catch me. Um, but if not, then we'll just do something totally different from that perspective because truly God is good. And because He is good, we can truly give Him all the praise because if it had not been for the Lord on my side, I said to the congregation today
They call me the
that
black sheep.
God has
Now they call
truly
me the blueprint.
been a deliverance to me. Listen,
Now they download me.
it's
And baby,
Sunday night, and I have made an oath that I was going to try to come on every Sunday night if possible and see if I can bring a word to God's people. And I like that song. I'm the black sheep. I'm the one that people had wrote me off. I'm the black sheep turned goat. And I thank God that when others said you'll never be nothing, God said you just got to stand still and wait. I said to my congregation today, I'm able to write a new letter to my haters. And that is, you are mad at me now. Just be patient for what God is getting ready to do for me in my future. You think you ain't. I'm getting ready to really make you mad for what God has shown me and what God has told me that He will do in my life if I stay faithful to Him. I'm that black sheep that turned goat. I know you think Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Some think Jim Brown was the GOAT. Some thought Muhammad Ali was the GOAT. But I self-evaluate myself. I'm the GOAT. Because there were so many obstacles that stood in my path that I had to fight through. There were so many words that I had to walk through. There were so many negativity things that were being said toward me that I had to overcome. I'm the GOAT. And I'm glad to stand up to say that. Listen here. I don't fill in space. I take up space. I'm not the one to fit in. I stand out. You can't bury what was meant to live. Do you hear what I'm saying? Hey, tonight I want to talk about, for those who will catch this later, if you catch it later. Hey, Dr. Durham, thank you so much for joining in with me tonight. Is that Sister Payne? I think it is. I love you. I love your service when I can see it. I've been knowing you and your wife for years. I was a black sheep also. I see you. Gwendolyn, Neil, hey, God bless you. Listen, I'm honored to let the world know I was that black sheep. And I'm glad to know now that I got another black sheep on with me tonight. But we the GOAT now because we was able to come up against what was set before us. And no, I never wanted to jump hurdles, but I thank God that He taught me how to jump hurdles and run my race. Listen, tonight, I'll only be on for a short minute. I don't try to bore you with a long, drawn out lesson, a service. I try to hit real quick and then give you some thoughts, and hopefully that upon you going to sleep tonight, it would give you an ease. It can relax your mind, and that you wake up in the morning with a refreshment, a renewing, knowing that my pastor, either Pastor Gillespie, have shared a word with me. Hey, Sister Gwendolyn, if you get a chance, I don't know what membership you are, but sometime if you can, if we have something in the evening, come by and visit us. I would love to personally see you face to face. God bless you so much for joining in tonight. Listen, I want to talk about again discipleship. I had a meeting, Grace. You were there, Dr. Durham. I want to respect your title. I was there with my parishioners on yesterday, and they came out. They really shocked me in the attendance. I was not expecting that many people to come out and to celebrate, to hear me discuss a few things with them, but they came out in full force. And in every pastor that make them feel good, we had over 37 people at the meeting on yesterday that came out. Hey, John Brown, man, you the best security I know, man. The best. I mean that. I got McKinnon being head of the security, you and him working together, and we're gonna make things happen at Pearly Gate Baptist Church. I thank you, John Brown, for your services. And I hadn't forgot about, and I want to say this and jump right into the lesson, all the extra time that you put in that we normally look for you to work on Sunday, but everything we have at church, you still do security. Don't think I don't notice that. And I'm going to show my appreciation to you, how we appreciate you doing it for us to be sure we save. I want to talk about disciples. And a lot of people don't understand that the reason I believe, my personal opinion, that the church is hurting is because we have more members than we have disciples. And it looks good to walk out in your church and see 1,500 or 2,000 or more people sitting in the congregation and sitting in the sanctuary. But out of those 2,000 people, perhaps you might have 200 disciples. That's how the numbers normally broke down. And Jesus called us to not to be Christians, but to be followers of him. And that's another problem. A lot of people will tell you in a minute, I know I'm a Christian, but the Lord have not called us to be Christians. He told us to follow him, be followers of Jesus Christ. Excuse me. And I think that's how we get twisted. We got a lot of people, Christianity, when it comes to your belief, that you might say you believe in Jesus, but do you actually believe Jesus? Hey, Blossom, God bless you for joining. Listen, and I'm of the mindset that the Lord, and what I'm trying to do in my old age as I get older, Blossom, is to make disciples. That's the reason I text you all every week, inviting you out to church, and you all have responded in such a mighty way in your attendance. Disciples must first of all adopt a posture to learn. You got to have a posture to want to learn. Most people don't want to be taught. Some people are self-taught in their own life, and that's the reason why a lot of them act the way they act, because they have been self-taught in their own life instead of sitting up under an instructor that can teach them the way they should live and teach them the productive way of living so they can have a productive, positive life. And most folks don't want to learn. Most people don't want to read. And definitely, they don't want to come to church to be taught. Most people come to church, they want to be entertained. They want to feel that they're in a nightclub somewhere. And the Lord have not called this church to be made up of that. The church is a place where we supposed to come. Hey, Sister Means, I see you. I'm still waiting on you. God knows I am, baby. Um, God wants us to be disciples, learners of Jesus. You know, the reason why most people do not attend church and have a problem with coming to church is because they don't know in actuality who Jesus is. They don't know. You know, even today, if you ask most people, Nancy, about a church, they'll name the church after the pastor. They say, oh, pretty, that's Reverend Gillespie Church. I didn't die for the church. And I don't want to call out any minister's name because folks think you play hating on them. So I'm using me. I hadn't died for the church. Jesus died for the church. I'm just a steward at the church, a servant at the church that Jesus died and purchased with his own blood. My brothers and sisters, when you look at what discipleship is, you got to adopt the posture to learn. Disciples are called to learn about one thing, Jesus, and learn from Jesus. And you know what? How can you learn about a person when he's not being taught in the church? Very seldom you find the average preacher today teaching from the Bible like I try to do at Pearly Gate about what Jesus said. They normally talking of things that we normally talk about in the streets. And they generalize the conversation to let you be able to be, what I want to say, relevant with you enough to where you can amen with them about it because it's things that you normally see each and every day. Why would you go to a science class and the teacher teaching math? Why would you go to a math class and you was assigned for the teacher to teach English? When you come to church, it's about learning about Jesus and who he was and who he is. But that's not happening. And that's the reason why some people have such a low attendance in coming to church, because they don't know they don't know the goodness of Jesus. They don't know what Jesus means to them in their lives. People today, some of us are actually, if you're still with me, Doris, some people, when I look at them, Nancy, you know, I was once young. I was once 30, 27. You want to say 40. I was once there. It come a time in your life when you got to look at yourself and realize that you have gotten older, and that foolishness that some people are doing, you should have outgrown that now. But some people think that they got a whole lot of many more tomorrows to live. And that's the reason why a lot of them doing what they're doing. The average person, they get what they want to say about what Mark White said, and he was right. Most senior citizens can't read. And seniors, they can't read. And why? Those young people that was pushed through our school district. We got a great district, as my deacon was speaking about. You know, I graduated from Memphis City School, made a 24 on the ACT. Yes, I did. Went to University of Memphis, got my degrees, got my bachelor's, got my master's, got my teacher certification. We got great teachers. We got a good school district. But the problem that is occurring with us is that it's hard for a person to grow up that is unlearned, and you trying to teach them when they got old. One of the hallmarks, if I can use that word, of Jesus' sermons was how he regularly turned components and component wisdom on his head in order the disciple is. And my computer is running low. It might cut off. Can I holler for a minute? I'm going to do this. Can I do this for a minute? Stay right there with me. Stay right there with me. I turn my camera on. I turn my camera. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. I forgot to charge this computer where you can see me and hear me. So thank you for. Now I think I got it. I think I got it. And I'll make up that minutes, okay? is a lot of people. You still there with me? You are, Arlene. You still with me? Nancy, you still with me? There are some people when you get old and senile and set in your ways. The old folk are right. You can take a horse to the stream of water, but you can't make him drink. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm not trying to call in about a dog, just using that as a parabolic simile to try to get my point across. So Jesus had a way and disturbing people and turning them around in such a way on their theology, their philosophy, their doxology, and things that they was caught up in mythology in order to get them to understand what he was all about. See, in order to show us what a true disciple look like, Jesus had to do something. I'm going to try to show you tonight in these few minutes that I got left. Jesus kept repeating the phrase, "You have heard that it was said before," referencing interpretation, and going back to the Old Testament law of cultural norms. And then he would say, "But I tell you, there are a lot of people, it's hard to reach them because they still would bring up to you, well, I was raised this way. This is what I believe." I said this earlier. I was once one of those ignorant people. So you can help an ignorant person, but you can't help a fool. See, an ignorant person is a person that just don't know. But you can help teach them to where they was once ignorant, now they are not. All of us right now was once ignorant until you got in different classrooms, you went to school, and the teacher opened up your mind enough that you was able to understand, you became a better person. But you can't help a fool. You can't help a stupid person. But Paul said, I wouldn't have you to be ignorant. My brothers and sisters, he said again and again, Jesus calls his disciples to a level of what? Obedience. He pushed them to shape the culture around them rather than just following what everyone else was doing. We're supposed to be that light, Nancy, that impact this world. But you know what? What kind of light are we showing today? We're supposed to be the city that sits on the hill. What kind of city that people see that's sitting on the hill? We're supposed to be the example of love. What kind of love are we portraying today when the world sees us? We're supposed to be the salt of the earth. So what kind of salt are we? Jesus said, when the salt have lost its favor, it's not good for nothing but to be trodden under the feet of men. People do not respect the church anymore. Hey, I see you, my baby Johnson. I see you. Shantina, I see you. People don't respect the church anymore. They don't respect the preachers. I even see ministers, and I won't call names. I see ministers portraying their wives on social media Facebook page where the wife, who is supposed to be the preacher's wife, turn it around, showing her behind and twerking. You better hear me. They're doing exactly what the women and young people are doing in the world. Jesus called us from out of the world. I always said this, that a boat is only a boat as long as the boat does not become a part of the water. Once the boat become a part of the water, it's no longer a boat. But what make it different is that it's riding on the water because it's not a part of the water. Jesus said to the church, ye are in the world, but be ye not of the world. But when you look on Facebook, you see more believers, as they say, cussing, doing derogatory things and unexplainable, disgraceful things. Sometimes you wonder why our children act the way they act. Check their mamas out. You got grown mamas 40 years old. Come on, baby. Don't nobody want to see you doing that. You got to be a mama for your child. Set an example for that daughter. That daughter, right today, the only thing that I can say about my mother, she died at 42, she had a stroke. If somebody asks me about my mama, all I can say is, my mama. I don't know nothing bad on my mama. I'm not saying my mama was perfect, but she was perfect to me because all she was mama. She didn't show me, and you know what? And I actually thought my mama was old because the way she carried herself. But when I got to be in my 40s, I said my mama was young. My brothers and sisters, we got to understand Jesus called us to be a changer of the culture around us. The world is waiting on the church to stand up. There was a game show out years ago, Nancy, and said they have people sitting in a desk, and they would say, I'm Ernest Gillespie. I'm Ernest Gillespie. I'm Ernest Gillespie. And at the end of the show, I think it was Tell the Truth, they would say, will the real Ernest Gillespie please stand up? My brothers and sisters, that's what the world is saying to the church. Will the real church, please, will you stand up? We don't care anything about prayer, and the church is supposed to be a house of prayer. I'm not going to quit talking till I can see 50 or 60 people at prayer meeting at 8:25 on Sunday morning. I'm going to do like Jesus, and again and again. Matthew 5:1-2 said this. When he saw the crowd, he went up on a mountain. Now watch me. And after he sat down, that's when they say a rabbi, when he sit down, was in a teaching mode. His disciples came to him. And then he began to do what? Teach them. Matthew 5:1-2. Read it when you get off. Notice that not everyone heard Jesus teaching. Not everyone followed him up on the mountain. But his disciples did. They had already abandoned much of their normal lives in order to travel with Jesus. The disciples heard it. See, I got a lot of church members. The reason why they don't come to church, they're not a disciple. They're not a disciple. And I don't care what I do or how I try to say it, I won't reach them until they can come where I can teach them. It's sad that you can get more people to come to a funeral than you can get them to come to a live service. How I'm talking today. Who I'm helping? I'm helping you. I'm saying something to help you. Everybody. That's the reason why some members come and they get upset. They quit the church. Somebody said somebody didn't like them. The pastor said something I didn't like. I don't think he should have said. Who give you the right to say that you don't think he should have said it when you have not even opened up the book to see if he's saying what's in the book? My brothers and sisters, disciples obey what they learn. Oh, Jesus. Disciples obey what they learn. Can I say this to you? Don't get angry at me, please. I'm just trying to teach. Why you think our young girls now, with all these vulgar, promiscuous ways of living, women literally half naked, don't give the man nothing of the imagination anymore? Why you think they do that? It's what they learn. You are a reflection of what you learn. You learn that. You watch these Atlanta housewives and these other celebrities on TV, how they're dressing, how they carry themselves. Why you think our young boys walking around sagging and showing they behind in their underwear? They saw Master Pete them do that. So when they saw it on television and these rappers were doing that, they began to do what they was learning. So if a person is taught appropriately, then your actions going to be that way. So when you see people with an indifferent way of living, don't get upset. It's what they have learned from their teacher. You know, when you think about it, there's a big difference. I'm just about through between a student and a disciple. Can I give it to you? Both groups are interesting in learning from the teacher. But however, students learn for the sake of information. They learn in order to pass a test or achieve a degree. A disciple, on the other hand, learns for the sake of obedience. Oh, Jesus. Ooh, God Almighty. All of us that got our degrees, I got mine. I went to school to learn to get that degree that I got, to take that test. Church history. I had to learn it in order to pass to get my Master of Divinity. And they wasn't teaching nothing else but those core courses. When I was in Memphis State, went to LaSalle, went to Crichton College, they was teaching those core courses. And the only thing that it was there I had to do was learn the information and then regurgitate it back on paper to my instructor. There's a difference between a student and a disciple. A disciple, on the other hand, as I said, for the sake of their learning, is for obedience. They learn in order to take action. I'm just about through. See, that's the reason why I have such a hard time sometimes with certain members, because they come with that student mindset instead of disciples mindset to learn how to be obedient in God's house. And this is why Jesus warned them of false prophets who comes to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly they are nothing but a raving wolves. See, you recognize them how? By their fruit. Yes, you do. Are grapes gathered, the Bible said, from the thorns or bushes, of figs from the thistles? In the same way, my brothers and sisters, every good tree produce good fruit, but a bad tree produce bad fruit. That's in Matthew 7. Read it when I get out there in Matthew 7, 15, 17. You can't be no more than what's in you. How can I expect anything out of the orange tree other than orange? How can I expect anything from an apple tree other than apples? You don't get prunes and plums from an apple tree. In the orchard, they grow all types of different trees, but each tree produce what it's supposed to produce. So how is it that in the vineyard, in the orchard that you go to, that each tree produce what it's supposed to produce, although it's around other trees, and yet we are Christians, we are around all types of people. Instead of us producing the fruit that God said we ought to produce, we become one of them. How do we do that? How can you not impact those who you say your friends to come to Jesus and come to church? You know why? Because you have become one of them. My brothers and sisters, before I close, when have you, I'm asking questions, I'm getting ready to close, have you experienced the tension between believing something to be true and acting on that belief? I can show you something that is real, but it's up to you to believe it. The storm of life, my brothers and sisters, are often unkind to followers of Jesus. And this is why we need a firm foundation. We need something solid on which we can build our lives and weather the storms and continue to participate in Jesus' mission for the world. Teach, Pastor. Jesus teaching only serves as a usable foundation when they are acted upon. Obedience is necessary if we want to avoid building on sand. The Lord will allow you. April, boy, April joined us tonight. Oh, my God Almighty, April Powers. Listen, she gonna join me. She might be a little late, but she gonna get there now, y'all. She gonna get there. Listen, the Lord would allow you to complete your house. But when the time comes for testing time, you'll find out what you built it upon. You remember them two men? They built the same house. One built on rock, one built on sand. But the one that built on rock and the one built on sand, neither one of them actually knew that the storm was coming, and each one of them endured the same storm. The rain ascended, the flood came up, the wind blew, but the house that was built on the rock maintained. And the house that was built on the sand, the storms destroyed it. There's some people, I'm just going to go over 4 more minutes. There's some people, the reason why you're not faithful and committed to God is because when the storms of life came upon you, you had built your life on sand. And that's the reason why now you have a problem serving God. Isn't it strange that we can get up on time every other day, but on Sundays, we can't get up on time. Sunday become lazy time. Sunday become a time. And it's the God that wakes us. It's the God that gives you the mobility, activity, the membrane to think. It's the God. How can you neglect the God that gives you the mobility, the ability to think, the ability to go out and gain, to get resources to live, and yet you can't serve him for 1 hour? I got to go. My brothers and sisters, this is the thing I want to leave you with. When you hear the word counterfeit, I want to add this before I close. What's the first thing that pops into your head? I'm gonna let you think about it. It's money, right? Criminals produce counterfeit money and try to pass it off as genuine bills, seeking to trick merchants, if they can, into accepting a fake currency. But like bank tellers, I'm closing, they are trained to detect counterfeit bills so that their bank is not left in loose with fraudulent money. My brothers and sisters, the reason Nancy and Sister Payne and April that sometimes the church suffer is because we have not been trained to understand the difference between a real Christian and a counterfeit Christian. When you go to the bank, I have not yet, watch this, I have not yet, April, when I go to the bank, see a bank teller hold up a dollar bill to see if it's real. But give them $100 or $50 bill or $20 bill. The big bill, they hold it up. But they've been trained. They don't look at the person. They weren't trained to look at the person. They're trained to look at what the person presents to them to find out if what they're giving them is real or counterfeit. My brothers and sisters, the reason why we have so much disturbance and we have unanticipation in the church because the teller don't put that counterfeit bill in there with real bills. And the Christian today cannot decipher what is real and counterfeit. And we allow him to put counterfeit Christians in among us. And that's what's destroying the church. A counterfeit Christian keep hell going. A gossiper. One that always pessimistic person instead of optimistic person. They always got questions. They always want to engage you because they are counterfeit. And when you're counterfeit, Jesus said this, you'll know them by the fruit that they bear. They are not trained, my brother. This the same. I'm done. It's the same when it comes to your true discipleship. And I'm gone. If you want to know what a disciple should look like and what they should believe, and do we need to know the one that we are called to follow, then all you got to do is watch their fruit. I got to go. I got to go. Listen. I got to go, Nancy. Grace, Dr. Durham. Did I say something? I got to go. Listen, every scar, when you look at life and see what people are saying and doing, God has truly been good to me. And all I can do is tell the Lord, thank you, Lord. Because if it had not been for the Lord on my side, I wouldn't be what I am today.
Now they call me the blueprint.
They call me the blueprint now. Nobody. All you got to do is watch and see what God is getting ready to do at Pearly Gate Missionary Baptist Church. Listen, I think I got on there. I don't know. Yes, I do. For those of you, what you say, you said a lot. Thank you, Dr. Dorn. I was the one they whispered about, Grace.
Just hum the melody of a song and it will help you find what has